Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the It's Good Mornings podcast. I don't know if you can tell by my voice, but it may not actually be good mornings. Oh, God. All right. Well, let's just break down. No, that is what I did this week. Let's just break it down. Everything that happened this week that led to a mental breakdown. I guess I can start this episode by saying I've never had a worse week while simultaneously being so happy about some other things that have happened. It's been an odd week. Let's just say that. Let me adjust the camera and then we will get started. Okay, and then I have my coffee. Dingle dingle. All right, this week. Man, where do we even begin? This week was the week of Hurricane Hel-ene. Or Hel-ene? Probably Hel-ene, right? Because there's an E at the end. Anyway, so on Thursday, we'll start on Wednesday. So Wednesday night, I was heading home from school, and I was watching the weather, and I was like, ooh, this looks like it's going to be bad. And so I was already starting to try to plan, like, what am I going to do? If we actually have school on Thursday and Friday, is it even worth leaving my house to go down there? Will I be able to get back? Will I be able to come back to the animals? And normally that wouldn't be such a huge issue. Like I probably would have just normally, under a normal circumstance, gone down to where my school is and stayed with my classmates for a few days. So that way, in case school did happen, like I was there and I could go. But that would have relied on the fact that my partner would have been home. But my partner was on a well-deserved vacation visiting his family. And so I was here alone, which you can probably imagine was not like super fun. Thankfully, though, on Wednesday night, they canceled school Thursday and Friday because initially the storm was supposed to go right up through them. And like the outskirts of the storm was supposed to hit, I say storm, the hurricane was supposed to hit me. Just like the outskirts. So it wasn't like a huge concern. But what happened as we were watching it is on Friday, like Thursday night, Friday morning, the hurricane actually like kind of missed where my school was, passed almost directly over me, and then went directly over Asheville. And that's where it kind of hit and had its, guys, I'm trying to have a serious conversation here, and had its most severe impact. So I was without power from Friday to Monday night. Aussie, Sussy, that can't hold you. Come here, Sussy. So I was without power until Monday night, which was annoying, but like I was really grateful that that's all we had. We still had running water, and we seemed to be otherwise okay. Guys, why are we opening the door? I tried to keep it shut because my partner is sleeping. Here we are. The last episode was very like happy and upbeat, but I fear this one will not be very those things. So we got power back on Monday night. And wow, this week doesn't even feel real. And of course, in the wake of all that, after we're learning how bad Asheville was, I reached out to Hannah from Binks's Home for Black Cats. If you guys don't know who they are, then here's their logo. They're wonderful. They are a black cat rescue up in North Carolina, and they are ones that we work with quite frequently, and I love and adore them. They are just wonderful people. And heard back from her, and she was like, we are absolutely devastated up here. We don't have running water. We don't have power. We don't have cell service. We don't know when all those things are going to come back. And so it was kind of like, oh man, oh dang, like what can we do to help you guys? And so if you guys follow me on Instagram, or if you follow me on TikTok, or if you follow me on Facebook, you saw I made a post saying, hey guys, we need to help these people, and we need to do it soon because they desperately need help. And oh man, I never really like being on social media. Like you probably don't know that about me, But my first instinct for everything is to hide. Like, I don't like to share. I don't like to have the spotlight on me. I call myself a middle of the classroom girly because the front of the classroom, you get paid attention to. The back of the classroom, also you get paid attention to. But the middle of the classroom, you kind of just like blend in and no one really knows you're there. I don't really like standing out in that way. So I'm just kind of like a, hello, I just like to hide type girly. But, the reason that I made any social media posts or I tried to like build a platform at all was specifically for the rescue and to help the rescue and to be able to do stuff like this because it was, in the area that we are at, cats are not prioritized. And I was just seeing so many people who needed help and I didn't know how to best help them because we couldn't get the help that we needed. So if we can't get help, how are we supposed to help other people? And so when I finally turned to the internet and you guys just showed up in droves, like I can't even tell you how much we've been able to change and how much we've been able to help people because of you. Oh man, I'm sorry if this episode is really sad, but it's been a tough week. Atra? No, Atra doesn't need coffee. She has IBD. Coffee doesn't help that one. Anyway, so I posted and not only did you guys show up, you guys blew it out of the park. I kept watching the numbers go up and the packages being delivered and I couldn't believe it. You guys raised over $26,000 for Binks's Home for Black Cats and that number is still going up. And I know Hannah and I know the people who run Binks's and those funds will be used to not only help them and the 20 additional cats that they took on from a different rescue. They're going to go to help other rescues and people in the area because that's just who they are. They have a community in need and immediately Hannah was asking me like, how can we help everyone else? Astra? Absolutely not. That camera's not for you. Astra, no. You guys raised that amount of money for them. And then on top of that, we have hundreds and hundreds. I mean, we haven't even counted how many, but we have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of donations coming to us over the next few days that we are going to get up to Asheville. You guys showed up in a way that just is so phenomenal. It is so phenomenal. We rented a moving truck and parked it in my front yard and we are just filling it up with packages. Here's a picture of that. We just got our first deliveries yesterday and so they're still coming in. Yesterday was Saturday. Today I'm recording this is Sunday. And also on top of that, our wonderful vets who we work with, they on their own decided that they were going to go up and provide free veterinary care for the people affected and help the animals that were hurt in the storm. And they were asking me, do I know of an area that needs more help than others? And I was like, actually, why don't I just put you in touch with Hannah and see what you can do from there? And so they're going to Hannah's House of Black Cat Magic and Binks's Home for Black Cats. They're going to take up a load of donations that you guys sent to me for them. They're going to take a load up and they're also going to help a bunch of cats and people and dogs and large animals because they're a mixed vet and they're going to help everyone. And that's just like, wow. That is so amazing. It's just been phenomenal. So you might be asking yourself, well, Mary, why? That all sounds great. Like, why was this week hard? First of all, living without power in a world where everything requires power is an interesting thing to navigate. Again, I'm not complaining. We were only affected for a few days and then everything basically returned back to normal. But that does take a little bit of a mental toll, right? With all the cats in the house and checking in with everyone in the rescue, making sure that they were okay, making sure that people still had the things that they need. That takes a lot on the brain. And then, school has been a bit rough. I really don't even know how to explain what my brain is doing right now, but my brain is just not super healthy. And I really had a mental breakdown this week. It's been a bad week. Um and I don't even really know how to like share what's been happening, because one thing I do understand about the internet, darlings, is that there are consequences for your actions. Both good and bad consequences, right? Like good consequences, helping other people and organizations. Bad consequences is if you were to, let's say, call out someone for bad behavior, I know that that opens them up to a lot of critiques that are important, right? Like we have a lot of people who would show up and provide critical critiques that are important, but they would also be harassed by people because that's just what people do. They don't really know limits. And so, when you have a lot of people following you, you have a responsibility to make good decisions on how you use your platform, which sounds so silly and like calculated, but it's not calculated in a way that it's bad. It's just like, I know that what I post could affect someone's life, good or bad. And I'm very conscious about that. So I don't really know how to break down what has been happening locally without like airing everything out. But I think basically what I can say is there's an individual in an organization within the area that has repeatedly shown bad behavior towards veterinary professionals in every aspect and has been incredibly disrespectful and bad towards them. And we have been working locally to try to elicit change from our local government to get a low-cost spay-neuter clinic in the area to help animals and help people. This individual happens to be doing something similar and basically thinks that they should be the only one in the area doing this thing, all while walking over people in their process. I think that's fair to say. And so I, knowing what the consequences would be for posting and calling that behavior out on my large platform, posted that on my personal page. I made the post public to begin calling this person out and start seeing change so that we can actually help people who need the help. And of course that went both ways, right? We have people who see the side that I see, and then we have people who don't, who are either benefiting from this person's bad behavior or who just haven't had enough time with this person to see how that behavior is going to impact them. And so that really hit me. That was a really, really, really tough week. Part of the week. And then on top of that, I haven't really shared it because I don't know. Again, my first default is to hide, but I've really been struggling the last 2 months, mental health wise, and it has really started to impact my schooling. I'm doing okay, but the last course that we took, either the way it was taught just did not jive with my brain, or my brain was just so focused on things outside of school, just trying to survive basically, that I did not do as well as I thought I would. And I still passed the class, but I am going to need to do some extra things this summer to fully pass the class, which is good because, my brain is not healthy currently. And so I don't think I retained as much information as I need to. This will be good, but it doesn't feel good when you realize that because of your mental health is ruining something else, essentially, right? And that sucks. And then on top of all of that, the night before the hurricane, 3 kittens who got spayed a couple weeks ago spiked really high fevers. Like Thursday night, Monarch, Beetle, and Missy, 3 of my foster kittens, thank you, spiked really, really high fevers. And they were so high, like I couldn't cool them down here. So I had to take them to our clinics so they could get, or one of them could get IV catheters to help bring down her temperature. And she had to stay there overnight the night of the hurricane. Thankfully, everyone survived, but it was like, of course this was going to happen the week of the hurricane. And so, I don't know. It's been rough. It's been rough. I think what's hard too about like how my brain works is when I see injustice, when I see people stepping all over people, allegedly, I think it's so clear. Like the path forward is so clear to me on how we fix a problem with a bad person doing bad things in the disguise of helping people. It's so clear to me how we move forward. But then you realize that like they've fooled so many people and you're not going to ever see the change you want to. Stop it. Stop pulling up the carpet, lady. And I think that has been probably the hardest part. Is just like you see an injustice, you want it to be fixed. You clearly see how it should be fixed, and it's not going to. And that really sucks because you see it affect your colleagues very negatively, and how it affects the people who need these things the most, and then how it benefits the people who are eliciting the bad behavior. And that really sucks. And a lot of the theme from this week, after I am trying to start change in this area, a lot of the theme is, well, they are trying to help animals, therefore you shouldn't ever call out their behavior. And you're like, well, no. Even people with good intentions have bad behavior. And just because they have good intentions does not mean we don't call out bad behavior as it happens. Just because you have good intentions doesn't mean you are free of accountability. If I do something that is bad, if I do something that affects people, I expect to be called out, and I expect to change my ways so that it doesn't happen again. We all can make mistakes, but we all have to learn and change and grow from those mistakes and not continually make those mistakes over and over again and be praised for being a good person when that is not the case. Even in animal welfare, where we get a lot of negativity, we have to call out bad behavior because it is the people who do things like what I'm trying to change that make people like my life more difficult. So it's been a bit of a rough week. I've been okay though. I'm okay. I have, as always, the support that I need. People are aware. And it will get better. It always gets better. It's just right now, it seems like a lot, But the beauty of what is happening is that, you guys, we're going to be able to help so many people with your donations. So many people. They may not have running water for weeks. And we have like between 300 and 500 packages of water coming. And that's gallons and bottles. We have litter and disposable things and cat food and all kinds of things. People food coming to help these people who need it the most. And like, I mean, that's why I do what I do. That's literally the whole reason for this. I think maybe if you see the platforms, like how many subscribers I have on YouTube or how many followers I have on TikTok or Instagram or Facebook, I think a lot of people misconstrue that and think like I make a lot of money from that, and I don't. I really don't. Like the money that I make is truly from Patreon, which is not a lot, but all that money goes towards paying my school tuition so I can be a vet for the rescue. I do what I do because I want to help. I want to see change. I don't want to continue to see people suffer. I don't want to continue to go to these colonies where people have to choose between putting food on the table and feeding these cats, because they always choose to feed the cats. And while I love that for the cats, that's not good for the people. And we have a society where we can have both, right, Aussie? We can have both. I know. Yeah, we can have both. And I'm just so sick and tired of watching the people who need help the most not get it. And then watching politics pull up the people who don't deserve it. The people who are actually making the problem worse while pretending they make it better. And I'm tired. I'm sick and tired of all of that. And that is what is the most emotionally draining, I think. I feel like I had way more to say, but I don't think I do. I'll keep you guys posted on all my social media pages about how the donations are going. So far, amazing. And I can't wait. We should have at least 2 supply runs up this week. We might have more, just depending on how many packages we get. But I want you guys to know that you're wonderful. And I appreciate you. And if you're going through a hard time like I am right now, you're not alone. It's going to be okay. We're going to make it through. You always have a safe space here. That's right, Astra. Come here. Come here, Astra. Come here. What do you have to say to them? She's like, ma'am, you should have stayed silent. I don't want to hear nothing. Nothing but nobody. Huh, Astra? But yeah, that's the hurricane update. That's the week update. If you want to support our efforts to help the people and animals up in North Carolina after the hurricane, please use the link in my YouTube bio, or if you go to my Instagram or my TikTok or my Facebook, it should all be there. You can still donate to their GoFundMe. I'm going to keep that up because they need monetary donations. And also the supplies will keep up for as long as we can, as long as we can feasibly get supplies up there, and until they have running water, we're going to keep those up as well. And I say all this also, and I need you to keep in mind, like, I'm not a perfect person either. Like, I've obviously made my fair share of mistakes in this business. But I think the most important thing about these things is, if you don't know better, how are you supposed to do better? But if you do know better, you should make the steps to be doing better. And that's what I hope to see in my community, in myself, in you, in the world. Yes, even you, Astra, because you've been eating things you shouldn't, and your tum-tum don't like that. This says, I have irritable bowel syndrome. I got diarrhea. Don't we all? Don't we all? Okay. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. I'm going to go off now and torture Astra with love and get back to my studies so that this course, which we're learning all about the nervous system, which is kind of my jam. If you don't know, my doctorate was actually in developmental neurobiology. That's what I studied. So it's kind of my jam. So I feel a little bit more comfortable, but it's still just like a lot of information. And the way that my brain learns, like, it requires a lot of extra work, which is what overwhelms me a lot. But, yeah, I don't mean to complain. This isn't a complaint. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. Can't wait to keep you updated on everything that's happening with Binx's and everything that's happening that you guys are able to do. And if you happen to live near Seneca, South Carolina, or anywhere in the vicinity, and you want to learn how you can help animals locally, reach out to me. I'm happy to put you in touch with what we're doing and would love to have your voice heard as well. Okay, I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. I will see you on the next It's Good Mornings, and hopefully it'll be fun. Goodbye.